Hello, everyone. I want to start out by thanking Dr. Jacobs for making this possible. I'm so excited to be here and to get to present on this opportunity today. My name is Abby Kubiak, and I am a student in the post-professional OTD program here at Boston University. Karen is my research mentor, and we will be running a research project this semester featuring clinicians in emerging and innovative practice areas in podcasts, sharing their experiences and perspectives. You're all invited to participate. And if you choose to participate, you can earn points in this course, and your syllabus has a little more detail on that, and we'll go into it a little bit later as well. Hopefully, should you choose to participate, you might look a little bit like this dog who is listening to some podcasts. So a little background before I get into more specifics. We're currently in the middle of some huge societal changes, right? Pandemics, global unrest, climate crisis, the list just seems to go on and on these days. But these are events that are clearly already beginning to change the fabric of our society and our culture. And this means that we have a huge opportunity and a responsibility to be thinking about how we can adapt our practice to meet these needs. We have a really broad mandate, a really broad scope of practice, and frankly, a really creative spirit. And OT is really well positioned because of these things to break out of our boxes and try to meet the demand for some of these new services. There are a lot of OTs who are working passionately in these areas, and this is where the idea of that role emerging OT kind of comes into play. But because these opportunities are by nature, they're emerging, the awareness of these opportunities that can exist can sometimes be limited, especially for OT students and new practitioners who are starting to learn about the field. And this brings us to our final point here, which is that podcasting is a really popular medium to share information in a really fun and dynamic way. I'm sure, or I hope that everyone here has listened to at least one podcast. So we've kind of combined these two concepts to create a series of podcasts that feature clinicians and emerging and innovative roles to share their experiences. So how does this work, you might be asking? The study has a few steps. They're presented here in detail. But all the materials and information that you need can also be found on the Blackboard under this class, which is OT 586. So if you have your laptop open, you can go ahead and follow along if you'd like, but you'd navigate to this class, select the Information tab, which is circled in red here on the slide. Information and materials for this research project are going to be under Research, Podcasting with Clinicians in Emerging Roles. So you'll select that one in green, and then you will have access to materials within that folder. And materials will continue to update to reflect the current project stage. So this week, you're going to go to that tab. You're going to select the pretest survey. You're going to complete that survey. The pretest will have approximately 15 questions, and it's going to contain a list of all the podcasts that you will have available to listen to as part of the study. So it's very important that you select 5 podcasts from that list, and you can select any 5 that you're interested in kind of pursuing further and listening to. And this should take about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. And the timeline for filling that out is right here. Today is the 19th of January, and you are going to have until the 25th of January to complete that survey. So once you fill out the pretest survey, you are officially ready to listen to some podcasts. So starting Thursday of January 26th, the Podcasting Week 1 folder is going to open in Blackboard in the same place that you found the pretest. The list of podcasts will be there. You're going to select one podcast that you chose in step 1 each week. So you'll follow that link, and there'll be a very simple, 3 to 4 question pretest. Then you'll listen to the podcast. It will start to play. And then there will be a 4 to 5 question sort of post-test following your listening to the podcast. And this should take about 25 minutes to complete on a weekly basis. And you'll do this every week for a period of 5 weeks. And here's the timeline for step 2. You'll have 1 week to listen to each podcast, so you'll be able to fit it into your schedule, however you want or whatever's convenient for you. Week 1 will be January 26th through February 1st. Week 2 will be the 2nd through the 8th. Week 3 will be the 9th through the 15th. Week 4 will be the 16th through the 22nd, and week 5 will be February 23rd through March 1st. So at this point, you may be wondering, what will I be listening to? So these podcasts have been recorded with various clinicians from all around the world in a variety of role emerging and innovative practice areas. They're all going to be about 20 minutes in duration. Some are a few minutes more, others a few minutes less. So here's the list of all the podcasts you'll be selecting from, along with their area, specialization, and location. So OT in Pediatric Sports and Fitness in New York, OT in Pediatric Telehealth in the Philippines, OT in Climate Action Coaching in Wisconsin, OT in Nature-Based and Equine-Assisted Therapy in Australia, OT in the Foster System in Alabama, OT in Business Coaching in British Columbia, OT in Sex and Intimacy in DC, OT in App Design and Entrepreneurship in Vancouver, OT in Trauma Recovery in Tennessee, OT in Botswana and Developing New Services, OT in the Criminal Justice System in Michigan, OT in Mental Health Activism in Israel, and OT in Anti-Human Trafficking in California. So there's something here for everyone. You should be able to hopefully find something that interests you. So what do these podcasts sound like? So we've asked clinicians, all these clinicians, to describe their practice, and some of the questions that we've asked include, what they like or dislike about their practice, what they did that helped them in their work, what they think is important to know, what a day in their life looks like, and things like that. So I'm going to play next an example of a podcast. This is a 1-minute clip of Dr. Alex Lopez. He's the director of Inclusive Sports and Fitness, which is a pediatric sports center in Long Island that focuses on supporting children with disabilities to participate in sporting activities. So what would you say the skills that are required kind of for you on a day-to-day basis?
I think humility is one thing, a trait, not necessarily a skill. I think, and some of the intrinsic qualities that people have, I think skills emerge when you have the passion and desire to make a difference in the world, or not such a world. I'm not saying world because I don't make a difference in the world, but I do make a difference, maybe one child at a time. But I think it's about humility, altruism, being actually following those tenets of the ethical tenets that we live by, beneficence and doing good for the world. And the skills come after, because I did not have the skills to begin with. And I think I developed skills for negotiating and becoming and networking with individuals and creating community partners by wanting and needing more for the community and feeling good about what I do. So I think that, those intrinsic qualities are more important than the skills, because the skills do come.
Okay. So it's March 2nd. You've listened to 5 podcasts and you've completed 5 pre and post tests. So this week you'll navigate back to that tab in Blackboard and you'll complete the post test, which will look a lot like the pre-test survey, and it should take approximately 20 minutes to complete. And you'll have the same amount of time to complete this as before, 1 week. So the final survey will open on the 2nd of March and it will close on the 8th of March, end of day. So why should you want to be a part of this project? Well, first, participating in this project and completing all the requirements will count towards your grade in this class, which is, always a wonderful thing. You'll also get to listen to clinicians who are really passionate about the things that they're doing as OTs in a, really wide range of diverse settings and populations, as we saw before. And this could help you to learn more about what OTs can do as OTs, the full scope of our practice, and give you some ideas or knowledge to sort of take into your future career. So finally, podcasts are fun and they're engaging, and you would get to listen to some podcasts. The clinicians are extremely insightful and interesting, and personally, I enjoyed listening to them. So I hope this was a helpful introduction to the project for you. Again, the details of the project and the link to that first survey are in Blackboard. I'm really excited to get this started, and I hope you will consider participating. If there are any questions or comments you may have, you're very welcome to get in touch with me at any time. My contact information is down below, and it's also in Blackboard. Thank you so much for listening.